Well, hey there everyone, welcome back to Cowboy Survival. I'm Richard, and as you can see, we're in the snow today. I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring some gear out, try it in the snow, see how warm it keeps me, see how easy or hard it is to set it up. So you follow along, see what you think, give me some comments, give me criticism, give me hints, whatever you want to do, I'm up for it. So let's just get into it. Okay, so I think this is a good spot to set up my tent. I've got a tree over here to my left, and I've got one over here to my right. I can set up my ridge line. I'm gonna put up a tarp, and then under that, I'm gonna put my tent. Now under my tent, I'll put a footprint cloth. That will help protect me a little bit from moisture because there's already snow on the ground, and also a little bit from the cold that's coming up from the ground. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then once we get all that set up, I'll probably also gather some wood, build us a little fire, and we can have a little conversation. So I'm going to get out my ridge line. And we'll put this up. I'm going to put it kind of high because I want to put my tent underneath this thing. So I've got me a wooden toggle. Put this thing up here. It's a little higher than I might normally put my tarp, but like I said, I'm going to put this is going to be over my tent, so I want it kind of high so I can sit under it. And we'll just take our ridge line and set it on across over here. Ridge line's up. We'll get the tarp put over it, then we'll stake it out. More toggles that I've cut. Okay, so my tarp is up, which means it can snow on my tarp and I'm going to be okay. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put down my ground cloth, my footprint cloth, and then I'll put the tent on top of that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my ground cover. I'm going to put this down. This will do a couple things for me. This will help protect the bottom of the tent and give a little bit extra moisture protection. Though this tent is pretty good. I think it's got pretty good moisture protection anyway. But it'll also give me just a little bit more insulation from the elements, from the cold that's coming up from the ground. And I'm not going to stake this down. You could. But I'm not going to stake this down. I'm just going to lay this out. I'm not even going to spread it out all the way because I don't think I need to. I'm going to make sure I stay pretty much under the tarp. Pull it back a little bit. I'm a little bit outside the tarp there. So I've checked the ground. It's pretty level. There's no real obstacles or rocks or anything underneath me. So I feel pretty good there. So the next thing is to get out my tent. I'm going to start setting that up. Now this is not a tent that you guys haven't seen before. This is my nightcat tent. And we set this up in a video last month, I guess. Maybe it was a little longer ago than that. Seems like it was just real recent, but it may have been longer ago than that. I like this tent. This is a reasonable price of a tent. It's a reasonable tent if you don't have a lot of money that you're going to spend. I think that I'd like to get one of those military tents, either the TCOP or the ICS. I think either of those would be pretty neat tents to have. But right now, this is the one I've got. This one isn't bad. It's about $40 or so on Amazon. That's not a bad price. This, of course, has these little fold-up bendable poles. And these poles will go in the corners of the tent, of course. Tie these two together about in the middle of the tent, I guess. We'll crisscross them. And then we'll put them in the corners, and this tent will pop right up. What I really like about this tent is how easy it is to set up. Especially if you're in bad weather. It'd be really nice to have this thing set up so quick. It's got these little clips here. Remember, you just clip these over the poles. Now I am going to put the rain fly on this, not because I'm worried about rain, but it would help keep some of the warmth in, I think, during the night. And there you go, tent's all set up, ready to use. So you might think that building a fire in the snow is going to be a little tricky, but actually it's not. First thing you want to do is just get you a few pieces of wood to get your fire actually up off the ground, actually a fire starter. You want to have plenty of little kindling wood around. And I'm just going to get out one of my homemade fire starters. I'll just get out of this tin here. This is just a cotton round that has been soaked in paraffin and some lighter fluid. So we'll just break that up a little bit. You can see the fabric comes out of it real easy. You can start to see the fabric of the cotton round. You can tear it if you need to, and tearing it sort of exposes those fibers. I'm going to open it up a little bit. And once you've done that, and you got those fibers up, you set it right on top of those little pieces of wood right there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my striker. We'll just get a spark on that. Goes it started. Now just get my kindling over here. So we'll put it on top of it. Those little sticks. Now you can pick those sticks up. You don't have to dig down in the snow for them. Look for ones that are sticking up out of the snow. Look for low branches on trees that the snow hasn't hit yet. A lot of times there'll be a lot of dead little pieces there you can get. And then you just start feeding this thing and it will catch. You can pick up all these little pieces off the ground. There's plenty of it laying all around in the woods. Now it's going to sizzle a little bit because it thinks, oh my goodness, this is wet wood. And it may be a little wet on the outside, but it probably is pretty dry on the inside. And by getting that fire starter up off the ground, the moisture from the ground isn't going to be putting it out. Now you notice I'm not up underneath my tarp here. I don't want my fire underneath my tarp. That would not be ideal for me. And I'll just get some more pieces of wood here. I've been a little lazy sitting on my camp stool, but, but it works either way. And this isn't really to cook with. I've got my camp stove to cook with, but having a fire gives you a little bit of comfort. It's going to be a little smoky to start with. Different people start fires different ways, but you saw that it just took me a couple sparks of my ferro rod. So I thought what I'd do is I'd make myself a little coffee here. I pulled up underneath the tarp. It's snowing again. And I'm going to use this camp stove. It is a mini camp stove. I got it off of Amazon. But it is almost identical to the 4-in-1 camp stove that Ozark Trail makes that you buy at Walmart. Same color, same shape, same size, works exactly the same way. I would hazard a guess that they're made in exactly the same factory in China. So I'm going to screw this onto this little fuel can. We're going to heat up some water, make some coffee, and then I'm going to also pull out a trail meal. Make myself a little bit of chili. It's awfully cold out here, so I thought, and it's lunchtime, so I thought I'd do that. So this thing works exactly the same. I just turn it on, and it's going already. So I'll set that down for a nice level spot, and I'm going to get myself some water over here. Can't hold in anything out here. Set that down and let that get ready for my coffee. I'm going to put this in my pocket because it's got to be environmentally conscious. You don't want to lose stuff out here. And the other thing I'm going to do, so I really enjoy these. This is the O'Meal's home style turkey chili, and it comes with a food ration heater. You just take it out of the package. It's got a little zip thing there. It's got quite a few things inside it. I've done one of these before too. So it's got a little meal heater, got a spoon for you, and it's got the meal itself. So you just take this and stick this down in here. And I'm going to expand the bottom a little bit because the bottom expands so that it'll stand up, you can see. And we just put a little bit of water in that. And then we'll drop this meal down in there. And that meal will actually heat up inside that thing. Gets to a nice temperature. Get my clean canteen of water. Don't have to put a lot of water in here, just a little bit. Just drop this down in there and then seal it up, and it will cook. Take that heating element out of there and drop it down in there. So I don't know if you can see that, but the steam's starting to come out of this thing pretty good now. That means it's cooking. You can hear it in there. So I'm just going to set this down and let it cook. So one of the things I'm going to be doing this year is doing a lot more of getting outside, hiking, camping. Found me a fellow at our church that likes to go camping a lot, so he and I are going to do some hiking and camping at some of the state parks this year. I'll be testing out a lot of my gear in more real world situations. This is kind of fun being out here today. It's cold, it's snowing, it's really pretty, but at the same time, it's really nice. You know, the air is clear. It's good being outdoors. And that's what this is all about, isn't it? I mean, we talk about survival and we talk about what happens if things go bad and what you have to be prepared for. That's one aspect of what we do. But another aspect is being able to take care of yourself when you're outdoors. Having that ability to go out, pitch a tent, build a fire, fix a meal, outdoors on your own without all the accoutrements of modern society. Okay, so let's take our chili. Should be about done. Let's see how our chili's doing. Should have brought some of that apple crisp out here. That would have been good. So I really like this. This is by O-Meals. I find it at a lot of stores, at Academy Hardware, Academy Sports. Sometimes I find it at Walmart. By the way, I like this long spoon because getting down in these bags is sometimes hard. This chili is really, really good. You can see it there. Oh man. It's hot, it's tasty, it's going to give me lots of protein, it'll fill me up. And then when you're outside in the cold, you burn a lot of calories. So a meal like this can be really helpful. And I didn't have to build a fire for it. Just had to put the meal heater in there and add a little water and it heated up itself. That's one of the things I like about the O-Meals, is that you don't have to have a fire to have a hot meal. Unlike the MREs, these things actually taste good. I've tried a couple of the MREs. They have the nutrients you need, but they just taste horrible. And they look awful too. My son-in-law called one of them and said it looked like cat food. He may be right. So, O-Meals chili, camp coffee on a snowy day. Can't beat that anywhere. Well, it's been a fun day. So remember what we always say. Stay prepared, stay strong, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.